Before beginning today's video, I would like to thank BamBam, Get93, Hey Hey and Gaja J for your kind donations in my recent stream or through Buy Me a Coffee. I would also like to welcome Alex is Gaming Now for joining the membership for this channel, and I also like to thank all these members that has continuously support the channel by being the members. Thank you very much. So just in case you guys kind of forget, Lucy is actually the character that appeared in the Desert World, the one who attempted to cheat us of our money. So she actually didn't get caught and she managed to escape because she's the best trickster in the Guardian Tales world right now. She will appear in World 12 in the stage that's going to be released very soon, which is I think 12-7. So you guys will see her again in there. I won't do any spoilers of how you guys will encounter her, but stay tuned for her. Lucy may be the best trickster that is capable to steal all the gold and valuable stuff in the world. However, is she worthy of your resources and investment? We will find out together in today's video on how worthy is Trickster Lucy potentially. As usual, this is the format for today's video. We'll be talking about her story, her stats, skills, as well as exclusive weapon. We'll also be talking about the attack and weapon animations as well as the strengths and weaknesses of the hero. Then I'll do some PvP as well as PvE potential analysis for her, and I'll end off the video with some final thoughts and opinions on my end. Lucy is a world-renowned criminal who puts fear into even the wealthiest men with the toughest security systems. She's a master of disguise, escape, misdirection, as well as magic. At the same time, she is also very smart academically, being a genius in crimes, having a doctorate in medicine, security, psychology, as well as alchemy. She commits crime based on her mood, and very little is known about her due to her elusive nature, as she purely commits crime for the fun of it. Despite being a master of crime, Lucy is especially bad at cracking jokes due to her delivery often spoiling the punchline for the jokes. Lucy is ranked 9th in terms of attack, 73rd in terms of HP, 7th in terms of defense, and 23rd in terms of damage reduction. She also is ranked 12th in terms of crit chance at 0%. Lucy's party buff is crit chance plus 36%, which is similar to Archangel Gabriel as well as Muriel. So this ability or this party buff synergizes really well with her special ability, which is known as Phantom Walk. So Phantom Walk allows her to increase her movement speed as well as crit hit multiplier when she crits the opponent. So this ability is really useful within Arena, as she can become a very mobile range attacker and very annoying to deal with because of how fast she will move around. A normal attack just allows her to throw cards to inflict damage at the enemies, and as you guys will see later, this attack is actually not very fast, but I think it's moderately fast and is able to pass through walls, so it's pretty useful in terms of a normal attack. Her chain skill is Flourish, which allows her to inflict 300% DPS as damage and increases all allies crit hit multiplier by 100% for 6 seconds. So this ability is very good on her because she has an inbuilt crit hit chance, and she also has an inbuilt crit hit multiplier when she performs her chain skill. So she can actually pair really well with Veronica, because apparently, if I'm not wrong, I think the crit hit multiplier from both heroes actually stack really well. Lucy's EX weapon is known as Fantasia, and other than granting her extremely high crit chance of 13% and buffing her defensive stats as well as weapon skill regen speed, it allows her to do additional damage, around 30% extra DPS with 40% chance when she attacks the opponent. When using her special ability or weapon skill known as Weapon Straight Flush, it increases the defense by 30% for 3 seconds. So I think this part of this buff to her weapon skill is to allow her to close in with her weapon skill, because you guys will see later, her weapon skill is very similar to Nari, but is able to pass through walls, so she can actually abuse it by closing in to the opponent to make sure the cards actually land on them. Her exclusive weapon skill is known as Royal Straight Flush, which deals 270% DPS somewhere between the mid to high tier and has a decent cooldown range of 8 seconds, which is pretty good. With regards to her attack animation, Lucy is able to throw her cards at the opponent at a decently long range, and this attack is able to pass through walls but not terrain. So there's a probability that she will throw out 2 cards together, and that is basically the 30% additional DPS at a 40% chance from her weapon ability. Lucy's exclusive weapon will call out 6 cards surrounding her, and it will be unleashed in a manner similar to Nari's weapon skill. So there's an auto targeting mechanic from the weapon skill, and you need about 2 to 3 weapon skill to actually fully crowd control your enemy, depending on how many cards actually lands on your enemy. So this ability is very similar to Nari's tracking mechanics, but this ability is able to pass through walls but not terrains. When Lucy uses her exclusive weapon skill, you guys will see an additional buff below her feet. So as you guys can see on the screen right now, she has about 3 to 4 buffs on her. So one is the movement speed buff, one is the defense buff she get when she uses her weapon skill, one is the crit hit multiplier buff, and the other one is another crit hit multiplier buff from her special ability. Now let us move on to the PvE as well as PvP analysis. Let us start with the first one, which is the Colosseum. So when you look at the Colosseum rankings, you won't really see Lucy running about within the Colosseum ranks for a few simple reasons. Number one, she's very mobile, so she will be running around the Colosseum a lot and you can't really predict where she go. So she's not really that tanky because she has a pretty low HP, and she will actually get killed really easily if she gets caught out of position. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is, yes, her buff is really good, crit hit chance as well as crit hit multiplier buff, but she just doesn't fit really well with the existing pool of heroes, because I think she will fit really well in a fire team with multiple fire buffs, but at the current stand, or rather the current point of the meta right now, there isn't really much earth teams for her to counter, and she just doesn't have that much synergy with the existing pool of heroes, unlike Gabriel as well as Bianca, who benefits a lot from the increase in stats. However, as we have witnessed from the history, or rather the past from this game, heroes with crit hit chance party buff tend to come and go within the Colosseum, so there might be a chance that Lucy can be viable within the Colosseum in the future if the correct meta arises, or if the correct party member arises for her. As for Arena side, Lucy fits really well with the standard range crit team within Arena. At the same time, I can see her fitting well with the defensive core of HP and defense party buff as well. But I think one thing that Lucy excels at within the Arena is her mobility. So her mobility allows her to deal damage as well as move pretty quickly at the same time. And because she's ranged, she doesn't have the disadvantage that Eugene have, whereby you need to close in on your enemy in order to abuse your weapon skill. So this allows her to abuse her movement speed as well as range advantage to the fullest, and in maps with open space or in maps where she can abuse the map layout, I think Lucy is an excellent unit to use and abuse because of how fun she can be. So I do have some footage about her within the Arena, but I just like to make a disclaimer that this is the lower ranks because it's from my light account, so do take it with a pinch of salt, and let's enjoy the short Arena footages of her.
범죄를 위해 컴백. 뭐해? 울어? 진정. 범죄를 위해 진정. 범죄를 위해 컴백. 뭐해? 울어? 범죄를 위해 컴백. 범죄를 위해 컴백.
Now to the PvE discussion. I rate Lucy a high S tier for PvE since her buff is very powerful like all the crit hit chance buffer, and she's an excellent addition to any ranged raid teams. To me, she's a solid S tier unit within Arena, not the most meta upon her release but definitely a fun unit to play with the cuts as well as speedy capabilities. She faces similar issues to Nari in terms of PvE room clears because she mostly deals single target damage. Nonetheless, her overall kit is really flexible and useful for most teams, and if fire range team would be a thing in the future, then I'm pretty sure Lucy will definitely be an essential part of that team. Below are some reasons to pull or invest in Lucy. So how worthy is Lucy potentially? I personally feel that Lucy will not be that game breaking when she's initially released, but she's a solid S tier unit in most game contents for me. Having the high mobility as well as wall penetrating normal attacks as well as weapon attacks means that she will always have a shot at Arena because she can abuse those antics of hers within the game mode. Due to her flexibility as well as raid centric nature of her kit, I think she'll remain in relevance in terms of the raid aspects for a very long time because she will be a crucial part for more damage as well as future fire raid teams if this thing is a thing in the future. At the same time, you will also get up to 80 mileages for 160 summons in her banner. So a total of 240 mileages if you do 160 summons. So it's definitely worthy to consider pulling for her if you are a value player. That's it for this video. Do let me know down in the comment section if you will pull her on her release on the global server, and thank you very much for tuning into this video. Remember to like and subscribe in order to see more content from this channel, and do remember to take a look at the membership page if you want to support this channel in the long run. I'll see you guys in my next video, and bye guys.